Hello, it's Keith Seymour from Real Talk. And I want to get serious because kids are going back to school all over the world and here in the United States, the district that I often do some substituting in, and the state in which I'm working to become a regular teacher in, and my mother was a school teacher in. These kids are all going back to school all around the world. And I want to speak to the parents and politicians and tell you what I hope you've learned. Parents, I hope you have learned, considering all the comments that I've seen in the past year on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and heard in person about how much you admire teachers. You don't know how they could do it. They deserve a gold medal, a platinum medal. Wow, I have a great deal of more respect for what they do now because I can't do what they've done. It's interrupted my schedule. I don't know how they do it with the families that they have. I want you to remember this. I want you to remember this long and hard and forever. Because the next time you tell your child it's okay to break a rule as long as they can try and get away with it, hopefully the teacher doesn't find out. You're teaching that child to disrespect the school system and society. The next time you tell a teacher, it's not my problem during the 8 hours he's at your school, it's your problem. I want you to remember that because it's going to become your problem the next time that child is suspended for 2 or 3 days for fighting or bullying or simply not following the rules. I want you to remember the last year being cooped up with your children and how you lost wages because you had to rearrange your work hours, how you lost sleep. And I want to remind you that's exactly what's going to happen the next time your child gets suspended from school because you can't take the time out to tell him or her to respect the rules. And the next time you tell a teacher or a principal, I'm sorry, I can't take 30 minutes to an hour out once every 3 months for a parent teacher conference. I want you to think about how much you worried because you couldn't communicate with the teacher as to what your child needed to learn unless it was over a computer. I want you to remember that. And I know there are single parents out there who work several jobs, and I empathize. I had this very argument a couple of years ago with my own sister, and you know how I won it? I said, Christy, you've got 2 kids. You have a husband, and you can't take time to go out to your daughter's quarterly parent teacher conference. I said, remember, Mom, you were 13, I was 11 when Dad died. Mom was 47. We had just moved back from England. 4 kids in college, 5 living at home. Mom worked a regular teaching job, tutored kids and shut-ins, worked various jobs, ran her own parent-teacher conferences, and seemed to make sure that ours was she attended every one of ours. You can make time for your child's education if you want to. Maybe you won't be able to go out to the bar or the pub or relax and watch your favorite TV show, but who cares? Your child's education is on the line. And if your child's making straight A's, then you need to go to those conferences because we teachers, the people who work at, we can point you to opportunities for your child, scholarships, opportunities to earn money 3 years before they even get into college, to start earning scholarships. Because most teachers do more than just teach. I was a journalist for 26 years. I've done public relations. I know the people who operate the various scholarships in my town and in my state. Art teachers know where the art scholarships are. PE teachers know where the athletic scholarships are. English teachers, history teachers, they all know where the opportunities are that aren't widely publicized on the school or school district website that you refuse to look at unless you have a gripe. Now to the politicians. For the past year, I've heard you talk about thriving economies and improving the economies. Well, that cannot be done with uneducated people or poorly educated people. So start paying teachers what they're worth. I live in South Carolina, where for the first time since Governor Campbell was in office, that's over 20 years, we're finally making the Southeastern average, which is only made up of South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. So 4 or 5 states, much less than national average. It amazes me that local and state and national governments will pay millions of dollars to f- to pay a coach who's losing state college football games. But teachers have to get on their knees and beg and threaten to go on strike to get a 5% raise that they will get over a 10-year period. And the argument is, well, education doesn't bring money into the community. College and professional football does. Well, let's look at that. Only about 5% of all college students who are there on scholarship actually make the pros. The other 95% actually have to use what they learned in their academic college classes. And even college scholarship athletic programs have an academic standard, which the teachers had to teach them in order for them to be able to be eligible to try out for that scholarship. In a society that is increasingly technological, businesses don't move into countries, cities, states, or counties if they see a largely uneducated or poorly educated group of people. No, in that situation, businesses move out. So, yes, education does bring money into the community. No one wants an illiterate working for their business. It's not the rappers, the movie stars that are going to bring the bulk of your money and businesses into the community. It's the entrepreneurs, it's the doctors, the lawyers, the teachers, the engineers. And to have quality teachers, you've got to give them quality pay. And to those people who say, well, my kids are no longer in school. Why should I care about what a teacher gets paid? Well, the answer is simple, and I've already said it. You want your community to thrive economically. That means a better educated set of students, students that are encouraged and are given opportunities and are led by teachers who are not just there for the paycheck, but who want to continue to make a difference and will work until the day they are forced to retire. My mother was one of those teachers. It's too bad we don't see enough of them still around. And it shouldn't make a difference where you go to school, or it should make very little difference. I was watching Good Morning Britain earlier today on BritBox TV, and they featured this school in the East End of London, which I would assume is the less economically advantaged area of London. Maybe I'm wrong. But this is a public school, and they were in a contest against Eton School for scholarships to go to Cambridge and Oxford, and they beat Eton, a rich private school where dukes and princes and the aristocracy and celebrities send their children. This local school beat this wealthy school for scholarships to two of the most prestigious colleges in the United Kingdom, and their scores were higher. And when Ben Shepherd and oh, it's a really great thing, last name is Fields, asked, "How'd you do this?" Two of the students said, "Even though we come from a less affluent background than those people that go to Eton, our teachers teach us we can do anything, not to limit our standards, to dream big and to go big." That's what teachers do. So, shout out to our friends across the pond. So, I'm just saying, the next time a teacher asks for a pay raise, give it to her or him. If the college football coach already making $4 million a year has to take a pay cut, so be it. If some politician has to take a pay cut, so be it. Because the only way our communities are going to thrive economically and socially is if we educate our students and we pay the people that educate them what they're worth. And that's a whole lot more than any professional sports person who gets out on the field for 3.5 months out of the year. That's what I got to say. Please send me your comments. And I would like to actually someone to come on and discuss these with me, but you can always send your comments to me on Twitter. Keith Howard Seymour at Right Stuff Seymour at twitter.com.